Alex Jones on the GCN Radio Network. Big Brother, mainstream media, government cover-ups. You want answers? Well, so does he. He's Alex Jones on the GCN Radio Network. And now, live from Austin, Texas, Alex Jones.
Okay, a lot of vital news coming up. I'm going to blast through at the bottom of the hour, but right now we're continuing with your phone calls. A caller from California asked me 4 questions. I just went over 2 of them. But dealing with the underground bases, they admittedly have these all over the country. But the extent of how massive they are and how they're interconnected is highly classified. But a lot of it has come out in pieces here and there. And under the eugenics model, the globalists can release a mass plague that would wipe out the majority of the population. And then the ruling class would then emerge from the bunkers. And they also, of course, would have the antidotes to the plague that they've released. And Ian Fleming, of course, was a member of British intelligence, MI6, a spy master. He wrote the James Bond books. And much of what you see in those books that then made it into films deals with real scenarios that have been discussed. But to make it more science fiction-y, in the movie Moonraker, this elite industrialist who's a eugenicist wants to kill everybody and only have prime genetic specimens go back to Earth to save the ecology of the planet. They go off-world before they release a biological agent to kill everybody. But that is not the plan. It is underground bases. And this is a serious program being discussed by the globalists, and they're romanticizing with all these different movies and TV shows about life after humans and how great it's going to be. And most of the top transhumanists and futurists write about this, and a lot of your major computer company and technology company owners write about how, like Bill Joy, I talk a lot about in Wired Magazine, who went to an elite meeting and met with 200-plus IT owners, and they said, do we kill everybody, or do we just entertain the public? I mean, because the future doesn't even need us. Now, you asked about armed revolt. If you look at the gang counter gang British intelligence model, just use one example of how they use it in Operation Gladio, which is now declassified in Europe from the 1950s into the mid-1980s, with the Bologna bombing in Italy and other places. They'll just set off bombings and blame it on political groups they want to go after. Or you've got the Kenyan model that was the model of the Gladio NATO option system, stay-behind networks, where they created national parks and international parks all over Africa as guerrilla bases for groups they fund to then attack the indigenous populations. And then when those gangs they fund, and this has been declassified in Kenyan history in the 50s and 60s, then British intelligence would come in and counter the gangs they themselves had created. Then they would go kill a few patsies and use that as a pretext to crack down. So I don't want an armed revolt, because clearly most of the groups that have been infiltrated and that push for this are government-run. Many of them don't even know it, as a pretext to have a massive clampdown on the population. And then you ask the question of, have I considered making a movie about the subjects that you brought up? Yes. I mean, these themes are in my documentaries. But, I would have loved to have made 100 other films. The world's so complex and so many issues I want to cover. It's just doing a radio show, doing other interviews, doing research, and then making films. I can only make 1 or 2 films a year. And so we talk about it in a radio form, TV form here. But I hope that answers your question. But we don't want an armed revolt in this country that's offensive. You have a sovereign, basic, organic right to defend yourself from people trying to inject you with vaccines containing cancer RNA, cancer viruses, adjuvants, mercury, aluminum. You have a right to defend yourself from government trying to inject your children with vaccines that make them servile. You have a right to defend yourself against people trying to put poison in your tap water. And I'm trying to peacefully have the dumbed-down local criminals back off. But it's a complex issue. But at the base, we have a right to defend ourselves from these murderers. Hello, friends. This is Alex Jones. You've heard me talk about Cal-Ben 5-star soaps for years. This is an American-made product of the highest quality and compares to nothing you will find in stores. You can buy factory direct, shipped via UPS right to your door. Check them out on the web at 5starsoap.com or call 800-340-7091. Take my word for it. Once you've used Pure Soap, you won't buy anything else. Since 1947, Cal-Ben Soap Company has been showing consumers that soap can be tough on dirt and gentle on the environment. Buy American and stay clean, as well as support InfoWars. Visit 5starsoap.com today or call 1-800-340-7091. Well, Marty, what do you have to say?
As founder and owner for over 63 years, satisfaction is guaranteed or double your dirt back. Call us at 1-800-340-7091 for a free catalog or visit our website, 5starsoap.com. Thank you.
This is Alex Jones with 5 good reasons you should consider buying a solar power generator. Number 1, new climate legislation could easily double or triple your electric bill. Number 2, our new energy czar wants to control how much power your electric company allows you to have. It's true. Total government control of electricity in the name of smart grid technology is coming. Number 3, in some areas of the country, the power grid is dangerously overloaded. And now, new socialist legislation is only compounding the problem. Number 4, dangerous weather is always a threat to local grids. Every year, thousands of families lose their power from weather-related outages. Number 5, a solar power generator provides powerful backup insurance and peace of mind. Folks, I really believe in the solar power generators offered by Solutions from Science, one of my oldest sponsors. You can get more information at www.mysolarbackup.com. That's mysolarbackup.com. Remember, the government doesn't own the sun, so go to mysolarbackup.com or call 1-877-327-0365. Listen up, friends. This is Alex Jones with key information. The mainstream media is now admitting that we're going into a depression. Don't be dependent on the government for you and your family. You need to get your own supply of high-quality storable foods from efoodsdirect.com. They're the best company out there, the longest continually operating, with a ton of great food to choose from. It's all fresh, made on a monthly basis, not some old cruddy food they're selling you like some of the other guys. Try their new evacuation pack, a 2-week supply of delicious, easy-to-fix food. It comes with all the equipment you need to prepare it. With open talk of a strike on Iran in the next 3 months, the crisis in the Gulf, and possible evacuations, get yourself and your family ready today. The place to go is efoodsdirect.com. Go to their website online right now, efoodsdirect.com/Alex, or call 800-409-5633. Again, on the web, efoodsdirect.com/Alex, or give them a call at 800-409-5633.
Crashing through the lies and disinformation, it's Alex Jones on the GCN Radio Network.
It is Friday. We are live, taking your phone calls. Bob Chapman with his weekly visit on the economy and really important news coming out on that front. He'll be joining us coming up here in about 52 minutes. Right now, let's talk to Derek in Missouri. You're on the air, Derek.
Alex, how you doing?
I'm doing okay. Welcome.
I know I called in, and I'd like to thank you for bringing up the humanistic needs of every man growing up through life. I think those are important ideas that you share with us, and I've learned from them. Also from Michael Savage's tales through his growing up. I learned through your stories, and I greatly appreciate that. The second thing I'd like to tell you, Alex, is that the National Guard is placing their selves with FEMA here in Springfield, Missouri, and I don't know exactly what they're doing.
Well, they're
exactly
merging into fusion centers for what is known as Brigade Homeland, and they plan to get it up to 400,000 troops domestically who've been battle-hardened in Iraq at checkpoints, and this is all part of the conversion incrementally to martial law.
Yeah, we recently had a new police chief from Tulsa swing his way in, and it seems to me like maybe, I don't know anything about the man, he could be very great, but we're all watching here in Springfield, Missouri as to what's going on. up another subject, if I could, Alex, and that's patriot families. I know when I was growing up, I didn't know exactly taking the fluoride tablets. My parents didn't know that was a bad idea. But later on, my father later met a woman, and her name is Ruth. I'd like to say her name. Hi, Ruth. And she's probably listening right now. And she told us about the New World Order. And as skeptical as we were, later on, we grew through history and time to better understand that, yes, it is real. And we want to better understand how to cope and be better patriot families. Now, with that, how is it that with a Greece-style like economic system that 30-year-olds are now being able to move back in with their folks because there are no jobs whatsoever, and it's becoming harder and harder for these patriot families to get the sustainability in place? Can you speak on that? And
Sure. And I appreciate your call, Derek. I mean, at least you've got a family. That's what family's for. Look at where the government's had control of groups, black people. If you go back into the 1950s, more than half of blacks born in this country had a mother and a father. And the crime rates were much lower, and they had their own communities and businesses and their colleges, and were really upwardly mobile. Then the so-called Great Society came in, and we have the Rockefeller Foundation documents on it, and would pay them money to not have men in the house, and now you've got over 90% illegitimacy. There's no father. I mean, it's hard to bring your kids up right when you got a mother and a father there, because there's the work and the taxes and the kids to watch and the role models. And now you see illegitimacy in white communities, Hispanic communities, trending just like what's happened with the black communities in this country. Now imagine all of these people that don't have a father at home or don't even have a mother. And now the CPS comes in and takes them. And now they're being raised by the government. And then they go out of foster care into prison. And that smaller and smaller middle class pays for that prison. And now that young person, whether they be black, white, it doesn't matter, is working in a prison for 25 cents an hour against everybody else in the free market who's outside the prison, driving down wages. China's driving down the wages. And so at least you've got a family. At least 30-year-olds who are being laid off or having their pay cut can move back in with their folks. That's what family's always been for. You know, you go back 50, 60 years ago, even well-to-do families tend to live on the same piece of property or in the same house because they understood that's all there is in this world is your family. It's your tribe. It's your people. And so many globalist handbooks, so many university publications that we've quoted here call the family a disease, a dinosaur. It's got to be gotten rid of, just like our industry's a dinosaur. We got to have a service economy. It's meant to make you dependent. And so you're just going to have to work harder. You're going to have to work 2-3 jobs like our ancestors did. I mean, winning is surviving. People think winning is a big swimming pool and a mansion and a bunch of money and a bunch of sex and a bunch of power. That's not winning. Winning is surviving and the next generation having it better than you did and being stronger and mentally tougher. And yes, we're going into something far worse than a Greece collapse. This is just the beginning. And I wish this wasn't true, but it's going to get really bad before it gets better. And it's never going to get better. You read the Rand Corporation, the Pentagon documents, the 2007 British Ministry of Defense battle perspective, and they say the government's main job is suppressing the people, that there will be a total societal collapse by 2012. This is a year and a half before the 2008 crash. It's all designed. We've read that report here on air. London Guardian reported on it. And they talk about a world government being the answer and how it's a post-industrial world. Their answer to their engineered collapse is a controlled collapse that we never come out of. And so if you can just stay independent and keep them from poisoning your water and keep them from injecting you, with the flu shot that really does other things to you. If you can keep your mind free, you're winning. You can live in a ditch, but as long as your mind is free, you are winning. As long as your soul is free, as long as you're not controlled by the globalist and being programmed by their worldly system, in the world, not of it, you're winning. So don't feel bad.